Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's December 31st, the final day of 2023. So I decided, before we get started with anything else this morning, apart from my coffee, um, we were going to do a vlog. We haven't done one in about 11 months, almost a full year. Our last one, the previous video in this playlist, um, was about the big changes that came in 2023. Namely, my middle child moving in with me. That was the big change and how it affected scheduling of streams and stuff like that. So it's been a long time since we sat and had these little chat. This kind of little chat. 2023 was actually a pretty good year for me personally. Of course, everything I'm talking about here is on the micro. It is me personally, not nationally or globally, because we know those are two completely different things from how my year went on a personal level. And that's not what this video is here to talk about. We're not here to talk about, global situations and whatnot. So 2023 was all right for me. I made a lot of personal growth, made a lot of personal discoveries, continued to heal mentally, actually lost some weight, things of that nature. So 2023 saw the big changes, like I talked about. My kiddo coming to live with me was huge. It gave me purpose I didn't have. It kept me from being alone all the time, and it really helped me heal mentally as much as it helped them heal mentally. Because if you recall from that previous video, they started the year in the hospital. They started the year moving in with me. Getting them back on track was a several month project. Things are going pretty well for them right now, all things considered. Earlier this year, I returned to regular streaming. I actually started it before Ash moved in, had to take a quick break to get Ash settled in, and then we resumed that. I actually had a good 3-4 month period there where the channel was growing. I was pulling down new subscriptions and getting my little $50 paydays like 3 months in a row. Of course, my Spectrum internet service put an end to that as I quit being able to have a solid enough upload connection to stream. Hoping we'll get back to that this coming year. January of last year also brought us the open gaming license controversy when the greedy folks that run Hasbro decided that, hey, this open game license needs to be reworked so we can make more money. That was turned into a positive because it expanded my horizons on the tabletop hobby. And I started learning a lot more new games. It's early in the morning, forgive me. That also spun off into working on a homebrew world that I'll talk about more in a moment. And I also this year played an actual game of D&D with people I didn't know that well. Up to this point, all of my tabletop experience has been with either my children and my ex-girlfriend / best friend, and people I've known for years. I played a handful of games with my old friend Sean. So I'd never really sat down and played with people I didn't know that well. And I'd certainly never been a player in a group I didn't know that well. And I got to do that this year. My streaming buddy Julia, one of my favorite people in the entire world who I've never met personally, but have had many, many, many interactions with via the magic of the internet. She actually orchestrated both this and the growth of my channel by her community being so fucking awesome. One of my favorite internet communities to belong in. We didn't get to finish the game. It was supposed to be a one shot. It needed at least a second run, but we never got the second run together because scheduling. Scheduling local groups is hard. It's even harder when people are scattered across the country and the world, as they were in that game. But it was fun. It was a great thing. Really, really, really gave me a taste of what's out there. And then the last big thing that happened in 2023 was we got a cat. I've been a pet guy my entire life. I've spent the last 10 years without pets because my landlord, I've lived in three of his buildings, and he was not accepting of pets, even with an extra bump on the rent. But he sold the building this past summer, early fall, and we were able to get a cat. Both my kiddo and I are huge cat people. We went to a local cat cafe right after Christmas. It was actually a gift for my youngest to go hang out at a cat cafe with Chelsea, my ex-girlfriend. And because she's a goddamn saint/angel, she paid for us to do the adoption of this lovely short-tailed cat that is just so vocal and cuddly. And if you've watched any of my YouTube videos in late December of Coral Island or Baldur's Gate 3, you've seen him pop up and cuddle me while I'm playing, and it's been great. So again, 2023 for me personally, pretty good year. That said, I'm ready to see it go away, and I'm ready for 2024 because I am cautiously optimistic about next year. I've said it a couple years in the past on my blog, OrNERDnary.com, and as well as on various videos. I don't do resolutions because I think resolutions, they have a negative connotation around failure. It's very well known that most resolutions don't last into the second month of the year, also known as February. So I don't make resolutions in the extent that I like to make an evolving list of goals, and that way it's adaptable. Like if, hey, this isn't working out, or I actually like this thing and don't need to change it, I can change my list of goals. So my goals for this year are I want to get my health back on track. I've done really good work personally, in my opinion, on my mental health. I'm the happiest me I've ever been. Still a little lonely. Actually, still quite a bit lonely often. But it doesn't make me unhappy to be lonely, if that makes sense. Like, yes, I feel sadness about it, but I'm not depressed about it. And it's not my prevailing condition. I'm the best me I've ever been. I've lost weight steadily. Every time I go to the doctor every month or two, it's half a pound here, a full pound there, 2 pounds here. I'm under 240, and I'm continuing to do good there. But I will admit that my diet hasn't been great as I've been poor. A lot of pasta, a lot of rice, a lot of potatoes, and admittedly, at least once a week, some sugar, which I shouldn't have. Once a month's one thing, once a week's too much. So my A1C is my blood sugar count's a little higher than it was last year. And I'm back into the full-on diabetes level of sugar as opposed to the pre-diabetic level I was 2 years ago. So I want to fix that. I also want to pay down some of my debt and sort out my finances. I know that's more boring adult bullshit, but over the last 2 years since the breakup and moving in here and trying to sort my life out, I've built up quite a lot of debt, sometimes just from buying groceries or paying my bills. So I want to pay that down. Now that the child support order is over, my kid lives with me, I don't need to pay support on a child that lives with me. I'm going to have a little more money to work with on paying down my debts and, going to the dentist, getting new glasses, all that stuff. Um, there's Omar right there. I don't know if you heard him just flop down and make a bunch of noise. Um, so I wanna work that down and get that burden off my head. Um, so that's the boring adult bullshit, health and finances. As far as like the fun, more optimistic parts of the year ahead, I want to play more TTRPGs. Um, as I said, for 2023, I started learning a lot of RPGs outside of D&D. I've spent a lot of time learning Pathfinder Second Edition. I've played some Pathfinder. I've played some Monster of the Week. I've played some Cyborg. But I've read about and have the rule books for, Morkborg, Pirate Borg, Delta Green, the Fallout RPG, the Witcher RPG, Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, Vaesen, which is like a. And it's Vaesen or Vaesen. I'm not sure. I've always heard it pronounced Vaesen. It's like a Nordic / Celtic TTRPG. Old Gods of Appalachia. Uh, Appalachia, that's the correct pronunciation because they say it's pronounced like apple at ya, or at ya. Various cipher system things. What else? Jesus. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, that's another one. Blades in the Dark. Scum and Villainy. Hard Boiled. Crescendo of Violence. There's so many games that I've learned the core rules of and have not gotten to play. Um, so I want to do more of that this year. I want to play more D&D this year. We didn't play as much D&D this year as we did in previous years because of life stuff. We're still at the end of our well, no, it is over 3 years old now. Our 3-year-old home campaign. We still have to finish the epilogue. We're right there at the end of it. Um, and then we have a whole second campaign planned out that we need to play before we can play our third campaign, which will be in my homebrew world that I've been working on this year and want to continue to build on in 2024. I had a world that I started writing a novel in. I had a world that I started writing a novel in almost 20 years ago, and I've rewritten it and rewritten it. Never finished it, but keep revising it. And about mid-year this year, I decided that I wanted to flesh it out as a TTRPG setting. Um, Around the time I was reading and learning Blades in the Dark and its setting, I started making changes to the greater world of my novel, and I realized like could be a really cool homebrew setting where I could play multiple different games in. I could play Blades in the Dark or Pathfinder or D&D in this world. Yeah, buddy, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. You have food and water, buddy. You don't need that food and water yet. Um, they or so I started putting that work in, getting that figured out and sorted. I want to keep working on that. I've got a world anvil page for it. I'm starting to build that out, kind of like my personal wiki for my world. Um, so I want to really keep working on that. As far as playing games goes, I would also like to um, get involved in an actual play show. I don't have the means to run my own, but I would love to get involved in one, either as like a guest player or a regularly featured player of a game. I listen to so many of them. It's one of my primary forms of entertainment outside of books is actual plays. Critical Role, Rivals of Waterdeep, um, almost anything B. Dave Walters has done, Black Die Society, and all that. Sorry, I gotta keep an eye on the cat. Gotta keep my head on a swivel. He likes my D&D minis a little too much. Um, Play with his toys all day long, and then gets a wild hair up his ass and decides that my minis are what's to be played with. And he's an all black cat, so like when it's dark like it is in here, it's hard to see him. So I wanna do those things, continue to learn more games, play more games, get involved in actual plays, and continue build out my homebrew world. But I also want to do more live streaming. I want to do more live streaming of video games again. I'm hoping the internet will sort itself out soon. Spectrum says it will be. Great assault there. I've had multiple technicians come out and look at my stuff and run tests and be like, yeah, everything's fine here. It's our problem. I haven't been getting the upload speed I've been paying for. I finally got the download speed I've been paying for. Hopefully that works out and I can make a stable stream again. It's been since June 6th, I think was my last stream. I'd like to finish Tears of the Kingdom together with people live. I'd like to live stream Baldur's Gate and Starfield and so many games that I've recorded stuff for and posted to YouTube. But my YouTube channel here isn't nearly as successful as my Twitch. I'm an unpaid YouTuber. I have been an affiliate on Twitch for a while, and my channel was growing. I'd like to get back to that. I want to make new friends this year. I know it's hard. Anyone who's been on the internet, anyone who's close to my age, 40, actually anybody in their mid to late 20s and older knows that adulthood makes it hard to make new friends. It's actually hard to keep old friends in adulthood, but it's definitely hard to make new ones unless you're blessed to work around people that are like you. I do not have work friends that are like me. Really, at work right now, there's 3 people I truly like and would want to spend time with. One of them happens to be my ex-girlfriend / best friend. One of them's an older woman that started with me. We don't have a lot in common, but we get along, or at least we did. Haven't seen as much of each other since we both went work from home, although she is new to my team again. Anyway, regardless, and my boss. Those are the 3 people at work I get along with the best, and for a variety of reasons, from being a single mom, to being my ex-girlfriend, to being my boss. Don't get to hang out with these people. So I want to do that. I want to make new friends. I want locally and globally, so to speak. I need more friends. I need to socialize a little bit more. I've been a bit of a hermit for the last couple of years, between the plague and the breakup. And I kind of want to get back out there, so to speak. So that's on my goals list for 2024. And I just want to continue to grow and be the best me. I've had a lot of conversations over the last several months between therapy and friends about who I am. And I've learned, one, to stop seeking fulfillment from work. None of us asked to be here. We all have to earn a living. And I've embraced the fact that I'm never going to be fulfilled by my job. I'm never going to have a job that is like soul food, so to speak. I currently work in insurance claims for a children's hospital. Before that, I worked insurance claims for a different hospital network, specializing in government claims, like the VA and whatnot. Before that, I was a security supervisor on night shift. Before that, I worked at Target. Before that, I did low voltage cabling as an independent contractor. Before that, I worked at a tool repair company, and in the midst of that, I went to culinary school. And then further back, I was in the Air Force. I was an air traffic controller. Nowhere in there have I ever been happy with what I do. It's always just been the thing I have to do 40 plus hours a week to be able to afford food and, earn my right to be alive. I've learned at 40 that I'm never going to be fulfilled by my 9 to 5. Fulfillment for me comes from my hobbies and from my impact on the people around me. That's a thing that I've really, really honed in on in 2023 and want to continue to grow in 2024. Is that I know that I am a being of love and empathy and compassion, and I just want to care about people. I want to take care of people. I want to love people. I want to be loved. I want to be accepted. I want to be a candle in the darkness that is our world. And I try to be that on the small scale with the people that I'm most intimately acquainted with, to varying degrees of success. I try to do nice things for my best friend who I used to date and lived with, and sometimes it doesn't go well. Sometimes she's not receptive to it. I try to support my friend Jen in Texas. I try to support my friend Julia in New York. I try to support the people that I care about. I am, as I said, a being of love. I love love. I love love in all its forms: platonic, romantic, sensual, all of it. I just fucking love love, and that's where I thrive, and that's where I get fulfillment. I get fulfillment from that and creativity. And as long as I have those two things, and continue to build those two things out in 2024, I think 2024 could be a good year. Cautiously optimistic. I don't want to be like, yeah, this is my year. But I think if I continue on the path I'm on, on a personal level, 2024's got a lot of potential. Almost as much potential as I have. But that's it. That's my Hello 2024 vlog. I'm going to start recording some video game stuff because I love video games and they make me happy, and I like Coral Island and Baldur's Gate 3 a whole lot right now, so that's what I'm going to do with my morning. I'm going to finish my coffee, and I'm going to play some video games. And I hope you watch that. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you watch that stuff and enjoy it. I hope you like, follow, subscribe, all of my incarnations on the internet, and hopefully we'll get back to live streaming, and I'll see you there. If you watched all of this rambling, semi laid out stuff for the last 22 minutes, I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you have a good year too. And I will see you around on the internet. Have a good day. Have a good 2024. See you soon.